So I saw videos of like refurbishing these old dressers on the internet, and I wanted to give it a go myself. So I started off with sanding, and I of course used all the supplies in my dad's garage. So I started with 80 grit sandpaper on the power sander, which is kind of satisfying to do, and sped up it does look satisfying. When you're doing it, you don't see much change happening. So I went over this kind of clear coat whitewash finish that was on it, and just took a minute, but yeah, I wasn't really able to do all of it, but as you can hear, there was like a really rough kind of sound to it because the 80 grit paper left a rough finish on it. So I came back over with 120 grit sandpaper, and that's me struggling to take the sandpaper off. Yeah, so the 120 grit sandpaper definitely smoothed it out a lot more, made it a lot nicer, and so the paint obviously could still stick to the wood, but not look as chunky, I guess you could say. So it's kind of satisfying to watch, I think. So yeah, it sounds a lot smoother. Ooh, so I went back over it with hand sanding in all the areas I couldn't reach with the power sander, which took so long to do, but was worth it because of course you gotta sand everything. And so I have these holes everywhere from previous screws, so I had to fill those. So I took sawdust from the sander and some wood glue that my dad had, and I mixed them together, and I formed a bit of a paste, and then I took that paste and just shoved it in the holes. It seemed to work really well. Then as I was drying, I kind of played with it a bit because it was like putty, and I sanded it down to get the holes to look as good as I possibly could. And then I jumped right into painting because I'm so impatient. So painted it this blue color. I forgot to take the doors off, so I had to do that while the paint was wet. Painted it. I think the blue color is called eggshell blue. I'm not too sure, but I quite like it. And so I prop it up here. I don't know why, but taking these drawers out is the hardest thing, so I couldn't do it. So I just left them in and painted around them, which is fine. It worked. But yeah, so finished painting that up. That was the first day. And then the next day I came back and I brought Lily with me. There she is watching dog TV. And she helped me try to install the hardware on the bottom drawers, and this was way trickier than I thought it would be. Drilling the holes wasn't bad at all because of my dad's surplus of Milwaukee drills. I could choose whichever one I would like to use, but the issue was actually screwing the screws in. I don't know why, it was just such a struggle. And then I gave it a bit of a sanding to give it a distressed look because that's what my mom wanted. And then I put it in my brother's snowmobile toboggan and I brought it down to our house. And this is Lily protecting me from bad guys because there's lots of those in Fox Point. Okay. And then in our house, so under our stairs, this is where we keep all of our blankets traditionally. It's kind of bland, so we just replaced that with this new cabinet and put a plant there. So I think it looks better, and yeah.